Another question?
In all your experience, past experience, how do you look at the civility, and that's a buzzword these days, the civility and bipartisanship that's happening in Washington, D.C. now? It seems to me it's so polarized. You have such a liberal, bleeding hearts, and you have such strong conservatives. I think most of the people out here, it just doesn't seem like anything gets done.
Well, no, I don't.
I mean, compared to the past, how do you look at it today?
I haven't had anybody, the opposite of what you say, and I'll answer your question, but there's kind of an anomaly here. I haven't heard it any time this year, I don't believe, but boy, when I was involved in those town meetings in 2009 and a little bit into 2010, they're probably Republicans, but very conservative people if they weren't Republican. They came up to me and said, I don't even want you talking to the Democrats. See? Well, in the Senate, you know, nothing will get done if you don't have some bipartisanship because of the 60-vote requirement, you know. So let me answer your question then. There's more partisanship now than before, anytime, and I think it's going to take a while until it gets back to more normal. But there's probably not as much as you think there is for this reason, that controversy makes news. So what you see on television is, you know, Republicans are fighting Democrats, or sometimes Republicans are fighting Republicans and Democrats fighting Democrats. But it's controversy, so it makes news. And it's worse in the House than in the Senate for this reason. Democrat majority or a Republican majority, as long as they stick together, they can ignore the minority. But in the Senate, where you have to have a 60-vote margin, and until the last 2 years would be an exception, but you go back 30 years before that, and right now, when it's been divided one way or the other inside 55-45, and you got to have 60 votes to stop debate, and if you don't stop debate, you never get the final vote. You got to have some bipartisanship or nothing gets done. So, you know, and I would say this, that there may not be friendships in the Senate, but there's friendly relationships. And, you know, it's one of these things where you can be fighting somebody on the floor and you can go off the floor and you just have casual conversation. There's nothing about what you say on the floor that makes a difference with your personal relationship. And for instance, I just now, because of the rules of the Republican Party, I had to move from being the leader of the Finance Committee to leader of the Judiciary Committee, because I put my time in there. But for the 10 years that I was working with Senator Baucus, I was chairman 4.5 years and he was chairman 5.5 years of that period of time. We would meet every Tuesday that we were in session to do what we could to get things done in a bipartisan way. And I'll bet out of that 10 years that there weren't more than 3 or 4 pieces of legislation, and the only one I can recall totally is the health care bill. But and most of the others wouldn't be that significant, but there couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 bills that didn't come out of committee in a bipartisan way. See? So, but you don't hear about that. But if I was fighting Senator Baucus all the time, you know, you'd be reading about it in the paper. But when you get along, about all you hear about it is people in Washington that know how we work together. They'd say something like you're saying, I wish everybody worked together like you're working together with Baucus, you know. Now I'm moving over to another committee, and Senator Leahy, he's more partisan. You know, it's going to be a little more difficult, but I'll get along with it.